Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk a little bit about Negan because we have some interesting stuff floating around the Walking Dead community with Negan when it comes to the TV show and even the comics a little bit. Specifically, Skybound teased what Negan's role is going to be like in season 10, so we're going to discuss that as well as what we can expect from Negan moving forward. So with that being said, let's get started. So we'll start things off with what Skybound said about Negan, and then we're going to discuss more about Negan, because Negan has had some momentum right now, and really all of The Walking Dead, like the TV show and the comics. So Skybound, this was last month's fan mailbag, but somebody asked him about, is Negan going to get much more screen time in season 10? Because surprisingly, Negan didn't get that much screen time in season 9, which I'm okay with because we had 2 full years of Negan. And I was thinking that because Rick and Maggie left, they would, put more Negan, but they didn't, which was a surprise, which, again, I was okay with. So I think Angela King did a pretty good job handling Negan in season 9. And when this person asked if Negan's going to have more screen time in season 10, this is what they had to say. They said, "It's possible we'll see more of Negan in season 10. After saving Judith in the blizzard, it seems Negan has earned slightly more trust with Michonne and the higher ups in Alexandria, but by no means is he free. However, at this point in the comics, Negan became a lot more involved, especially with the Whisperers." I'm going to get into the comics in just a moment, but I will warn you for a spoiler warning when we get there, so don't worry about that. But speaking of Negan in the TV show, I want to know what you guys think about that. Like, do you think Negan is going to be essentially a good guy in season, 10, helping out with the Whisper War? I definitely think he will. I hope he will, because especially with Rick not being there anymore, I think fans like Negan. I think fans, first of all, I think Negan is very charismatic, and fans like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So Negan isn't as hated as he could be, with what he did. I think early on he was a lot more hated, but as time went on, I think he slowly is getting some redemption for fans and the characters in the show at the same time. Like, saving Judith was a big one. I think, we saw what happened at the end of season 9. Him and Michonne, they had that moment in the finale. Negan wasn't even tied up then. They were just talking, and Michonne thanked Negan. And we saw earlier in the season, Negan asked Michonne for a job. Specifically, he said, I know I have good leadership skills. I think Negan wants to be part of, the board or whatever they have there, the council. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's way too far from that. But I do think he will get some sort of job. But Negan does have experience being a leader. Maybe not a very good leader. Maybe he's not, doesn't work well with others. But still, he does have experience as a leader. And we also know Michonne is leaving this season. So I do think Negan will slowly become a leader type character once again in The Walking Dead. The only issue I kind of have with that is how, not really an issue, but the only thing I'm curious about is how is that going to work with Daryl? Because I think Negan still has to do something huge in order to get Daryl's redemption back. Because Daryl, he's pretty stubborn. I don't think he's ever gonna forgive Negan. I think Negan would have to save his life or something, which I think could happen in the Whisper War, which would definitely help with getting redemption. With Daryl. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Rick before I get into the comics, TV show Rick and Negan, because Rick is alive as we know. Negan saved his daughter. What is Rick's reaction going to be to that? Let me know what you guys think about that, because, I'm hoping, these stuff somehow all come back around by the end of The Walking Dead. I hope, Rick eventually finds out, that, Negan saved his daughter. I hope Negan finds out that Rick is alive. He probably will if Michonne leaves in season 10 because of Rick. But I really hope these things get answered, and I want to see Rick's reaction to Negan saving Judith. I just want to see a reaction from him. Imagine if we get a reaction over the radio. How awesome would that be? Imagine Judith telling Rick through the radio that Negan saved, her life. How cool would that be? And we can get a little bit of a reaction through the radio from Rick. And I just hope by the time The Walking Dead ends, all these little things have some closure. But you guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Do you think Rick will ever find out about that? Or what do you think his reaction would be? With that being said, though, we are gonna get into some comic book stuff now. So if you are a TV fan only and you don't want to know this stuff, I totally get it. If you are gonna be stopping here, I just want to say thank you for watching the video. But for those who are gonna continue watching, we are gonna talk a little bit about Negan in the comics. So Negan in the comics has a pretty big role after in the Whisper War, and continuing from what Skybound said, the next question after that, if we will see Negan more in season 10, somebody else asked them saying, will we see any scenes of Negan and Alpha? And then this is what they had to say. And they said, if the show were to follow the source material, then it's entirely probable we'll see Alpha and Negan face to face. For some spoilery context, in the comics, Negan breaks out of his cell, briefly joins the Whisperers, gains their trust, beheads Alpha, and brings her head back to Rick to prove he can be trusted. But who knows what will happen in the show? They can use that storyline, give it to another character, or abandon it entirely. After all, the writers completely changed the Pike victims, minus Tammy, from the comics, so anything is possible. So that's what happens in the comics for Negan's storyline, and that looks to be possibly like the big moment in season 10 when it comes to the comics. Like, Michonne leaving is going to be its own big moment. But it looks like each season of The Walking Dead almost has like one huge moment from the comics. Like, obviously last season was the Pikes, you know. I feel like this season the big moment could be Negan beheading Alpha, and I hope they do bring it to the TV show. I don't see Alpha, you know, surviving All Out War or anything. I don't even see Beta surviving All Out War. I think the Whispers are gonna get swept. You know, I don't really see any of them. Maybe I mean, there are a lot of Whispers, so who knows if some of them might end up, you know, joining one of the communities. But for the most part, I don't think so. I think they're a little bit, you know, too weird. I think they're a little too weird for our group. So I don't really see them joining, you know, after behead. I mean, especially the leaders. Like, I don't see Alpha or Beta joining, especially after they just behead a bunch of their people and they put them up in Pike. So these people are obviously a little crazy. So again, I think both of them are going to end up dying, Alpha and Beta. But you guys let me know, who do you think is going to kill Alpha? And I mean, Negan's a popular one, but again, like they mentioned Skybound, like they could really change it up and do anything if they wanted to. They could have Carol kill Alpha, because as we know, Alpha killed her son. I think I would be happy if it's Carol or Negan. It doesn't really matter to me. I think both have really strong arguments on both sides. I think Negan, though, like Negan killing Alpha would be a huge redemption. That would be like, if they want Negan to be, you know, I mean, I think winning over fans with Negan isn't that hard, but to logically win over the characters, like if we want to see the characters like be okay with Negan and it actually makes sense, like Daryl, for example, is a tough one. Like Michonne, they're already kind of working on it because you know, Negan saved Judith. But Daryl, how is Negan gonna get on Daryl's good side? He might never. Who knows? It's not just Daryl. You know, Daryl isn't like that one person who can stop Negan. If everybody else wants Negan to help out and Daryl doesn't, I'm sure Negan will still help out. But I do think, you know, if they are going to move forward and working together in the future, I do think Negan and Daryl need to see eye to eye in some level at least. And like, you know, in the comics, like they mentioned that he brought the head to Rick to gain his trust. The exact same thing can happen in the TV show, where he could bring the head to, you know, Daryl and Michonne and the people at Alexandria and the Hilltop and say, you know, look what I did. I just, you know, killed this person and, you know, helped you guys. So, you know, please, can I have some trust? Something like that. And I could definitely see that happening. You know, you guys let me know in the comments down below if you would prefer that to happen, or do you want Carol to kill Alpha in revenge for her son? Again, it's tough to say who I really want to kill Alpha, because both have really good arguments, but I'm interested to hear what you guys think about that. Now I want to talk a little bit about Negan's role moving forward in The Walking Dead, because I see a lot of people saying that Negan could possibly become a leader after he gains the trust of the survivors, like after killing Alpha, which could happen. You know, he's been asking for a leader type role. That's who he is. And it could happen eventually. I think I mean, Negan has the ability to carry a show. Jeffrey Dean Morgan has the ability to carry a show. So it is possible. But this also kind of ties in with the comics, because recently, as we all know in the comics, Rick Grimes died. Rick Grimes died 100%. He's not coming back. It's not like he got saved or anything. He's gone in the comics. So at the end of each month in the comics, you know, Negan does like this letter hack where he talks to fans, asks questions, answer questions, stuff like that. And this is what he said at the end of issue 192. He said, "See you guys next month. And with Rick Grimes gone, who will be the focus of this series? I'll give you one effing effity guess, you effers. So who does that sound like? That's literally Negan to me. That's how Negan talks like. So he's basically implying there that Negan will become the new lead of the series, for the comics, that is. So with Negan becoming the new leader in the comics, do you guys think he's going to become the new leader in the TV show also? Now things are a bit different in the TV show because Rick survived the TV show. He's not in the TV show anymore, so it kind of is similar, like Rick isn't in the comics anymore. But we still have characters like Daryl there. And Daryl will definitely be a leader over Negan, I think, any day. But because he's becoming a leader in the comics, do you guys think he could become a leader in the TV show? Now, we know the TV show follows the comics, like storylines, that is. Like the main storylines, the main villains, they all come to the show. They do change in the mix, they change character arcs and they change stuff like that throughout the series. But for the most part, it does stick to the comics. So, I mean, we don't know for sure, but I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Do you think Negan will become a leader in the TV show? I think he will. I don't think he will become the leader, like the one big leader like Rick was. I don't think there ever will be another Rick Grimes, like that one guy that whenever he's on screen, it's like we feel safe. I don't think there ever will be a character like that. But I do think everybody working together, I think Negan will be there eventually, part of the council, making decisions and helping the group. So that's what I see happening. Not even in season 10, probably. I think season 10 is going to be his redemption. Possibly like season 11, like definitely after Michonne leaves. That's what I'm trying to say. But that's what I kind of see for Negan moving down the road, especially if it's going to be happening in the comics. I could definitely see it happening in the TV show as well. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about Negan? What do you think his arc is going to be like moving down the road? What do you think is going to happen in season 10 for him? I just quickly wanted to make this video talking about Negan because there's a lot of information going around about Negan, from the comics to the TV show. So you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions. I am gonna wrap it up there for this video. Hope that you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating, and for more Walking Dead videos just like this, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.